All right, we got some green tip on the 11-inch, and here's a 220. Move out to the 330-yard target. Well, that was too easy. Let's see if I can see the 440. I've got a 3x magnifier. There we go. We got a steel out at 550. If I can see it. We got the sun setting, so it's a little bit tough to see right now. There we go. Let's see if I can do that 2 in a row. For an 11-inch gun, getting 100% hit ratio out to 550 on steel, I'm not going to complain. Now, of course, those are, 30-inch pieces of steel, so it's not like it's massively accurate. What we've done on paper so far, we've been very impressed with this rifle, but she definitely has the ability to fly out to that 550 and do great rifle things, even in just the 11-inch configuration. The 3x magnifier, a little bit of knowledge of bullet drop. This is not the BDC style reticle, it's a single dot. I think it's the XPS, 3 TAC 1 or something like that. It doesn't have the 2 dot or the 3 or 4 dot model. This is just a simple dot. But I've been on this range a few times and I know where the bullet drop is, but holy cow, does this thing shoot great. And I've done 0 modifications to this rifle with, obviously I put the bipod suppressor on, iron sights, and then the EOTech with a 3x magnifier, but this is just a factory, no Geisley trigger yet, but man, so far this rifle is really performing. Hey everybody, Rob Orgel with Silencer Syndicate, and as you can imagine, there's an HK rifle in front of me, the HK MR556 A4. Now, I think a lot of people are back and forth on, is this worth the cost? Because, gosh, she's not cheap. I probably don't need to wear my ear pro anymore. Not for now. She's not cheap. Is it worth it to everybody? Hey, money's subjective. It's up to you. I think it's a phenomenal rifle. I'm very impressed so far. Much more testing is going to follow. I have some complaints. I'm going to tell you my complaints. You're going to have to hang out for a little while for me to get to those, but let's start from top to bottom. AR-15s, this is not. This is HK's proprietary. If HK was going to make an AR, this is what it would be. So there's a lot of pieces that don't swap back and forth between your PSA that you built last Christmas during the Christmas sale. So know that about this rifle. It is very specific. It's specific Geisley trigger. It is very proprietary. Now, having said that, I've been a fan of HK for a long time, as many of us have been. If you're a gun nut, then HK is one of those names you pay attention to. Of course, I've got a couple MP5s and some G3 style weapons. But what I like most about AR-15s is, 1, piston, 2, fully ambidextrous. And it looks like HK stepping into that arena, as is many other manufacturers. So I'm super, super grateful that HK is stepping up from what was previously a very right-handed weapon and a very non-suppressor friendly weapon into this. Now, I've got the HK MR556, the more original one. I've got the tan one not because I'm a fanboy, but because I think they're nifty and I think they're designed different, and I think they make phenomenal special purpose rifles, meaning accurized AR-15 rifles. Both of mine are 16-inch because getting a pistol variant in the US is quite difficult and quite expensive. You may have seen on the channel that I've got 2 that look similar to this, but those are actually from Brownells, the Bren 4 uppers. I've got the more classic and the more modern, and now HK has the much more modern, up-to-date style rifle with the adjustable piston system. So let's talk features for a few minutes. If you're a nut like I am, you've probably already seen a few people talking about these. My version is going to be a little bit different than other people's version because I'm the suppressor nut job who's got 142 silencers right now, and I'm finding certain suppressors do and do not pair well, and I'm finding that certain back pressure doesn't mix well with this rifle, kind of like the predecessor. The MR556 really needed low back pressure silencers, and in fact there was a time when they only warranted it if you only shot Huxworks suppressors, and then eventually I believe they expanded into the B&T suppressors. Hey guys, if you like shooting suppressed stuff as much as I do, quick cut in for you. March 22nd is the East Valley Tactical Suppress Range Day, so if you're anywhere near Benny Avery shooting range and you want to support a local gun shop who's doing a lot of great things in the suppressor space and helping this guy, supporting this channel, we support him because he helps us and we appreciate what he does for us. We will be there at the East Valley Tactical Suppressed Range Day. If you see us, please don't hesitate. Come say hi, come shake a hand. We're surprisingly social, and we love chatting with people. So absolutely feel free to stop us and say hi, and make sure you swing by. Even if you can't make it, throw the $35 or whatever the range fee is to join, just to support the suppressor event, to get that exposure to more people so that we can make silencers more common use and make them legal for everyone. All right, guys, back to your video. When I talked to them at SHOT Show, Tommy had mentioned that the gas system is tunable. So I guess I'll start with that now. It's not actually tunable. You have to request a different port size, and they'll send you a different port size. And I spoke to HK yesterday, and they were explaining the different port sizes, and I asked some very complicated questions that they didn't have the answers right away, and they told me they would get back to me, which is, you know, kind of upsetting. Being the suppressor guy, I saw a hex in here, and I figured you'd tune that hex so that you could adjust the depth of the suppressor setting and how much bleed off you have. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. I've seen a lot of other guys' videos where they just say, mine's tuned perfect, so I'm not going to bother tuning it. And that's a disservice. If it's tunable, then it should be tunable on the user service end, which is my end, not buy a part or, you know, have to order pieces or send it in. So I feel a little bit misled about the user serviceable thing. Now that I've got my gripe out of the way, you're going to call me biased. You're going to say that I'm a fanboy. I love this rifle. I think this thing is just a great rifle, pistol right now. I did submit the Form 1. The stock arrives today, but the Form 1, I have to get an email before it becomes legal. If you like the ATF and you believe that what they're doing is right, then don't comment on this video, and make sure you do not hit that like button if you like the ATF. For the rest of us, we know what that means. So soon this will be a short-barreled rifle. For now, as you see, I'm shooting this at distance on steel targets, and I'm finding it to do very well. Tommy was 100% right that it's a disservice to put a red dot on this. It's hard not to put like a 2 to 10 or a 1 to 10, an LPVO of some sort on this rifle, because it's so darn accurate and capable. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what about the chrome lining thing? I've already shot a bunch of groups on this. This is just the first video. We're going to do another video. And in fact, there's a certain gun B&T is making, and they're saying it's going to blow the doors off of this. So we're probably going to make a little series of a competition between the two rifles. B&T has already said yes to that video series. Obviously, H&K is already on board as providing their 11-inch pistol, and we are going to go head-to-head to find out, is HK or B&T the best 11/12-inch gun, and we will have little categories to compare them. Now, going back to the HK. Obviously, it's a piston system. Obviously, it's 2 settings. What I found so far in the suppressed setting, without the suppressor, most of the time it cycles the 55 grain full metal jacket. The ammo I like to use, which most of you already know, is PMC X-Tac 55 grain full metal jacket boat tail is our preferred. I tried some green tip as well, and I'm finding that in the suppressed setting, it cycles most of the time. A lot of the time it will not give you last round hold open. And then when you put it in the non-suppressed setting, it obviously functions fully reliable. It's a very soft shooting. As you know, I'm an ASR junkie, so I put a muzzle brake on it, and it just floats in the hands when you're firing it. This is one of those many almost recoilless rifles, and that's nuts for a piston gun. So if you wanted to get into the fine tuning for your specific ammo, you could probably make it softer shooting. I am very happy with that in its current non-suppressed setting. The suppressed setting, however, I have found this is the Velos. Those of you who have been following the channel know the Velos is a low back pressure suppressor. I'm finding it in the scale of 1 to 10s. It's in the 5 range, right in the middle, which is actually a very good performer. So this suppressor pairs very well. I'm also finding the B&T Print X and Print XH. They're also pairing very well because those are in the 5 or lower back pressure suppressors. Of course, a Huxworks would work well on it too. But when you start getting to the higher back pressure suppressors, you'll see, even though it's a piston gun, you'll see the forward ejecting, you'll get a little bit of gas in the face, being piston and bleeding off up here. It's better about that, but it is still overgassing. It still increases that felt recoil. So as it comes out of the box, know that in my test bed of 1 so far, it is a low back pressure suppressor and no suppressor host, not a full back pressure suppressor host. It's just not particularly good in that department. All right, the rail system. For you HK nuts like me, they're heavy. HKs are not lightweight guns. This is a big step in the right direction. This is a substantially lighter weight gun. It's not near as front heavy as the previous ones are, so I'm super happy about that. The rail is much, much thinner. I really dig that. They put little couplers up here for the QD. I like those to be a little bit more far forward, but with the piston system, you know, a lot of guys end up running their slings here, and I get that. If this becomes a run and gun kind of thing for me, then I'll probably put my own QD up front here. As mentioned before, I've got Magpul Pros for their low profile. I've got an EOTech XPS3, I believe this model is, and then a 3X magnifier. And that's allowing me to get out to these further distances, but then I stripped that off to do the CQC and other type work. Other favorites of this guy, it's got that standard oversized magazine release on the left-hand side for the crazy nut job lefties like me. Got the upper receiver kind of creating a hood over the bolt release so that when you lock your bolt to the rear, because in the military, administratively, you'll walk around with your rifle with the bolt locked to the rear a good chunk of time, especially in private military contracting. Our guns are either loaded or unloaded, and if they're unloaded, our actions are locked to the rear. If they're loaded, our actions are forward. So the action bumps forward accidentally from time to time when we're doing certain range operations. So it's actually really cool that they put a hood over and protect it from accidentally hitting that bolt release. The safety selector, to me, is very UMP45 in design. It's got a nifty kind of look and angle to it. It throws to the 45, which is just a home run. I love the 45. Some guys are still traditional 90s, but I love that 45. And then you've got a bolt catch and release that acts as kind of like a paddle on this side. So for the righties that see the lefties lock the bolt to the rear and they're jealous, this allows the righties to lock the bolt to the rear, kind of like how a lefty would do it. But it also allows the lefties to hit the bolt release from their thumb as a righty would do in the standard manual of arms. So again, I mean, just lots of little home runs all over this thing. The charging handle, you know, Damien and I looked at it at first and we thought, you know, it looks like it's open in the back and that might bleed gas straight towards your nose. And I took it apart, you know, took a closer look, and it's pretty well sealed up back there. It just looks like it's open, and that's because of the spring design with a dual latch going to both sides. But it is very enclosed, and running this gun, you know, quick mag dumps, I've already put probably, I want to say I did about 300 rounds through this rifle just 2 days ago, and then today I've put just one mag running out to the 550-yard steel, and you know it hits what you're aiming at easily and effectively. Very impressed with it. Back to the buffer system, you can tell it's back to their proprietary kind of system. You can choose a different stock, of course, if you want. This is just the with the SB3 or SB4, whichever model that is, I forget. And then the pistol grip, very HK-esque, very P30 look and appearance, almost look like it's got that P30 grip changeable stuff on the side there, which I think is a big upgrade from their original pistol grip, which was kind of B5-ish. This looks kind of wonky, but it's very comfortable. The oversized trigger guard, that's, you know, preference. Is it necessary if you're wearing gloves because you're in Germany? Maybe. In the US, I'm not wearing gloves a whole lot in Arizona, especially not big winter gloves, but to each his own on that, you know, if that's important or not. But they did seal up the bottom here, which, you know, if you're carrying your rifle for a period of time, you'll find that this knuckle finds that slot on a standard M16 style weapon and just rubs it raw. So, you know, again, there's just tons of little tiny home runs on this gun. This is my initial impressions. I'm only 400 rounds-ish into this gun, so I've got a lot more to come, but I just wanted to let you all know that we have it, we're testing it, we're beating it up, and so far, it's the cat's meow. Is it worth, you know, what, $3,500? I don't know. I think Daniel Defense is like a great staple food of AR-15. I think it's just, they're great. They're accurate as all get up. They're often very lightweight, and they're incredibly reliable weapons. I find people are like BCM or Daniel Defense. In the comment section, let me know if you're more of a BCM or Daniel Defense guy. I have to tell you, I'm kind of more of a Daniel Defense guy. I got some BCMs, and they run great too, but I don't know. I'm loyal to Daniel Defense because they had provided us Mark 18s on contract, and they were great guns. They shot incredibly well and very reliable. A little overgassed, but I mean, for reliability, they were great guns. So to compare this to a Daniel Defense, I mean, what does their new R3, their full ambi cost? It's like $2,400-ish. So if you add, you know, $600-800 more dollars, you're getting a piston system, you're getting HK's name on the side, and you're getting an adjustable piston at that. Is that worth it? I think so. To me, yeah, I'd say it's worth it. If I didn't have one, and before they sent me one, I'll be totally honest with you, I had one in my cart and I was eyeballing and thinking about it. I was like, well, if I can get them to send me one, my wife won't kill me. So I asked, and they were kind enough to help me out. But I very much so think I found one for like $3,200, and that was in my cart for a week. I don't remember where I found that. I'm sure you can find that. If you need a link for it, make a message in the comment section. I'll try to find you a fresh link and get it to you. But I totally think this is worth the $3,200. I would definitely, if I didn't already have one, I would buy. The next question is, should I buy the 16-inch one? I don't know. Do you guys want to see a review of the 16-inch? comment's going to be, well, Rob, I'd love to see the 762. Me too. They told me that I might be able to get my hands on one. And when I spoke with Tommy, I kind of said, you know, I feel like the first 762 didn't go that well. And he kind of said, yeah, there were some flaws there. And this new one is far improved from that. So it excites me that they're aware of those flaws. I had the MR762 and I had 2 or 3 clients with MR762s. They did not suppress well. Accuracy-wise, I was not terribly impressed with them. These new ones being tunable and, you know, it looks like they've solved a lot of these accuracy issues. It might be something worth checking out. Hopefully we get one in the near future. Now I want to throw one big attention disclaimer thing because I think a lot of us got super turned off when we heard the barrel is not chrome lined. And I think I don't know. I think HK usually does good stuff, and they threw a lifetime warranty on the barrel. So if they're burning barrels out faster than chrome line, then they're going to pay the price for that, and they'd probably start chrome lining it if it becomes an issue. I don't foresee it becoming an issue, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do is shoot the snot out of this, and then I'll tell you what I'm finding. You know, happily, I'm on this range 5+ days a week, and clients often use rentals, so I can put whatever I want in their hands, just like I did with that bolt action 223 for suppressor testing. So quite possibly this thing will rack up a high round count, and I will stay honest and truthful about all the things I can find about the good, the bad, and the ugly of HK and anyone else. We have no loyalties to anybody. We're here for the team, and we love doing these reviews for you. Having said that, guys, please do that YouTube thing for us. The like, comment, subscribe really goes a long way. It tells YouTube we're doing good things. The sponsorship of this video is us. We're here, our wives are at home missing us, and we're making content in the dark for you because we enjoy doing it, and we love creating this content to share what we're finding about the modern firearms of today. Guys, we appreciate you. Stay safe out there. And one more time, hit that like, comment, subscribe. I know you're thinking about it. Just hit that button. It doesn't cost you anything. All right, guys, stay safe. We'll see you in the next one.